You may be asking yourself what this bizarre creature behind me is. Well, I'm glad you asked. It's an Australian. And we are here in Australia to interview some of the best skateboarders on Earth. Excuse me, sir. 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 Excuse me, ma'am.
I'm Richie Jackson, international skateboard sensation. Join me as I travel around the globe to take an in-depth look at the past, present, and future of skateboarding. Enjoy the ride as we go on a journey that will take us full circle.
As absurd as it sounds, it is possible to get paid to ride your skateboard. How do you achieve it? Well, all I can tell you is that everyone's journey is unique. There is no one singular predefined route to success. Here in Australia, there was once a time where you had to work twice as hard to establish your name on the world stage. Of all the stories of struggle and success, I'll be following one in particular, that of Jakob Robinson.
My name's Jakob Robinson. I'm from Ballina, small town in New South Wales, Australia. Grew up here my whole life, skating, hanging out with friends, just the basics really.
At what point did you figure out, like, hey, maybe I can do something with this or pursue something bigger than just riding my skateboard?
When I started, I was about 6, so I think by about the time I was 9, I picked up my first sponsor, which was Omni Skateboards. So when I got picked up by them, it was sort of like, oh, okay, there's actually something in this. There was actually, you know, more than just a hobby, and you can take it to these different platforms.
But what is your motivation? Like, do you feel like you want to see your name up in lights? Like, is that something that drives you, or, you know, what is it? Like, what are you trying to achieve?
I mean, all the lights and the glimmer, like, it'd be amazing, you know, see your face on like a pro board or your name on a shoe or whatever. I know it like varies from person to person. Like, you got to put food on your table at the end of the night and keep a roof over your head. If I could do that skateboarding, it'd be incredible. That would be the dream. I think at the end of the day, I don't really mind if I don't make any money off skateboarding, or if my name isn't on a shoe or whatever. I just like to leave a legacy for what I do.
Although he seems to be flowing freely through his environment, make no mistake, Jakob is always searching high and low for the next skate nugget of skate sustenance that might allow him to continue his skate lifestyle.
What's your official job description?
Underwater porcelain technician. So in layman's term, I wash dishes, but...
Just give me something. So what's the needed? Just give me something. So what's the needed? Just give me something. I need a remedy. Yeah, keep me alive. You are my remedy. Gotta keep you in my sight. I need a remedy. Yeah, to keep me alive. You are my remedy. Gotta keep.
All right, we get it. He's good. But what about me? I'm good. Here, I'll show you. Come to my hometown, Sydney, Australia. I couldn't roll through Sydney without revisiting Martin Place. This is where I spent most of my time skating as a kid. Today, I'm going to do what most old men do and take a stroll down memory lane, talking and talking and talking about things that happened in the past.
So what was cool about growing up skating here was that it was more like,
United States East Coast kind of vibe. As corny as that sounds, it was more like New York or Philadelphia. We wouldn't really have a car. We would get the subway in, get out at the subway station, and skate from spot to spot. And there was enough here to keep us entertained. I think my skating definitely developed out of that kind of approach. You know, you weren't sitting in a car all day, you were on your board, moving around, and that's the kind of skating I still prefer to do.
For every skateboarder, there's a specific place where they honed their craft. For me, it was here.
Welcome to Martin Place, Sydney, Australia. This is where I learned how to skate. So I probably spent every weekend here for a solid decade. And sometimes after school, but as you can see, it's super busy. So what a lot of people don't know about this spot, everybody's seen it in videos, but I don't think everybody knows it's one run. You have 5 blocks of famous spots. You have the 10 stair with the 10 rails here to start. But then if you keep going, you've got these mani pads. Then on the next block, you have Prudential double set. Block after that, you have the 3 flat 3 flat 3. And on the very last block, you have the pit, the big 4. Oh, this block is where I did the longest power slide ever in the rain. You can see why, like even on my feet right now, I could probably do it even without a board. It just goes. Oh, I hit a dry spot. Okay, let's go down to the next block. This is probably the most famous part of Martin Place as far as skateboarding goes. We have a 3 and a 3 and a 3. After you hit the 3, 3, 3, you're headed towards the pit. And it is really rad that the whole deal downhill ends in this right here.
Making it big in skateboarding requires a lot of risk-taking. Australians are known for their easygoing attitude, as well as their psychopathic tendency to want to overcome deadly obstacles. The man I'm about to speak to is no exception to that rule. So we gotta talk about what's going on with your arm. You broke it yesterday?
Yeah, just a fresh, nice little fresh break. First time actually breaking the arm, this part of the arm, yeah. Sorry, I'm a little high on the old killers. They're killing the brainwaves.
So where in Oz are you actually from?
Sydney, Cronulla.
To me, it felt like your part in the blind video was what really cemented you in the international global skateboarding map. Were you conscious of the reaction to that part? Did that feel like a big moment when that came out?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty well received, and I put a lot of work into it. For myself, like, just focusing on vert skating, like I knew it was a dying art. And I really didn't care because I just wanted to take it as far as I could. And it attracted me even more that people went into it.
Exactly.
So I was just like, all right, cool. I got Trans World Vert Skater of the Year for that. Pretty sure it was just on that part's strength alone. It's kind of getting a weird, like, feels like the bone's kind of popping in and out of place.
You want to go to the DC ramp? So, in a sense, we're all time travelers because we all move forward into the future at the rate of 1 day per day. Where do you see the future of skateboarding headed to?
Depends on the future of humanity, really, doesn't it? Well, 1 day per day, it'll be 1 day older tomorrow. As far as that goes, hopefully there'll be one more trick learnt and one more person hyped on skateboarding. Perfect world. Skateboarding would be perfectly perfect, which is pretty close already. Pretty close. I'm joking.
Although we almost always refuse to acknowledge it, the specter of injury looms large over the heads of every skateboarder. Jakob himself has danced with that devil and has emerged victorious on the other side.
I had a shoulder reconstruction about 2 years ago, so I had to take about a year off skating. That was a real down point for me. It was just as I was finishing high school and sort of emerging into the skate scene, and everything was starting to happen. And then, yeah, I dislocated my shoulder, and about over a 4-month period, I dislocated my shoulder about 40 times. So I was like waiting on surgery and wanting to skate still, but at the same time I was trying not to. But even like I'd wake up sometimes after sleeping for the night and my shoulder would just be out of place. So that sort of, yeah, screwed me up for a bit. Taking that time off definitely didn't help, but I think it just like reassured me how much I love skating too and wanted to keep pursuing it.
Doctors told Jakob that he would never do a Russian boneless by the seaside ever again. Today, his arm is not only strong enough to do that, but also strong enough to punch them in the face as he's rolling away.
Dude, the funniest thing is that we actually met 10 years ago at
did.
Bondi Skate Park when we were 12 years old. I had no recollection of it, but your dad showed me the picture, and we're definitely standing there. I look probably younger now, and but you look solidly 10 years younger. You
Yeah,
have
I
the
look
long hair now.
very young. Come back into full circle, haven't we?
It is kind of bizarre.
Now that Jakob has reached adulthood and accepted me as his equal, I was able to accompany him to the Sunshine Coast, where we visited the headquarters of his sponsor, Trinity Distribution, and roamed the aisles, taking for free what most will only ever purchase.
Okay. Inglewood. Isn't there an Inglewood in downtown LA somewhere? Like cool ghetto?
I'm finally getting to live my childhood dream and walk through a warehouse and pick stuff out. So no, I think grab some grip at the moment. What do they got? Oh damn. Yeah, I definitely need a piece of that. Oh. I like that.
So when I was a kid, if I saw somebody's name in a magazine that was a pro skater, I kind of just assumed that that person was already a multimillionaire and had completely made it as much as you possibly could. As you get further into the game, you realize that's not true. How is it for you realistically with sponsors? Like, how much are they helping you out?
With my sponsors, like, shout out to everyone that's, you know, sponsoring me and giving me stuff. It really means the world. I guess in the way of, like, living though, I'm not, like, earning any money off skateboarding, really, unless I go into competition and do well. Then I might get a little bit of money, but yeah. Sponsors are sort of helping me travel a little bit. When I had to go to the States or to China, they helped with my airfares and stuff like that. Dogs. Yeah, I can take that too. Yeah, I guess it's that reality kicking in, isn't it? Like, when I was younger, exactly same thing. Like, I thought, oh, these dudes are killing it. They've got so much money. Aussie skateboarders, they sort of fall off the scene so easily because they sort of realize, you know, I need to pay the bills. Yeah, it gets to that hard point where it's like, oh, it's either take your chance or you find some security in life. But yeah, once again, I'd rather take the chance, you know.
Me too.
See what happens. What a mugshot. What size is that? It's a medium. What do you reckon, medium or large? I reckon large too. We're going large.
The best way for Jakob to learn how to do what other Australian legends like Dane Burman have done is to talk to Dane Berman. I wanted to find out what drives him and how he went from Australian skate rat to international sensation. So as far as Australian skaters go, who did you look up to and who inspired you?
Mumford.
Matt Mumford?
Always loved Matt Mumford. But I love his skating. I love what he's done for Australian skateboarding, and I definitely will always look up to the dude just because I was into street skating and I was into not so much skilled skating, just kind of like cross your fingers, hope for the best skating.
Right. So at what point did you figure out that if you were going to do something in skateboarding, the United States needed to be a necessary component of that?
Well, I never necessarily wanted to do this. I just knew it was an option. And I started getting like sponsored and recognized and stuff in like my late teens, like around 17, 18. And actually I was talking to you on Facebook one day.
That's true.
And
I was watching the whole time.
And you were like, hey man, if you ever want to do something with this, get friends, leave them behind, they're holding you back. And I was just like, you know what? Richie sucks. And I was actually like bummed on you. I was like, I don't know if I want to do it if it means I have to leave my friends. So I tried to figure out a way to do both, and it took me a little bit longer. But it was you saying like, if you really want to do it, come to America. Yeah, I like the feeling of overcoming fear as well, I think. How to take it and use it and overcome it.
How to work with it.
Yeah.
You're never going to completely, to say I have no fear, I'm not afraid of this, like you're lying to yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm scared all the time.
Yeah.
When you're in school, like, everyone looks at you like you're too much of a tryhard if you want to study for a test or something, or like any of that sort of stuff. Like, it's so frowned upon. Like, no, you're supposed to act cool, like you don't care about this stuff. Like, you finish school and you go, oh wow, I should have listened.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same with skating. It's, I don't know, you look at the dudes that didn't try, and they'll like come up to you now and be like, man, you did it, you made it, you got out, you did something with it. And it's like, you could have too. So that's why street skating's fun. I do what I do, and if you don't like it, who cares?
I like talking to Dane. Dane is my friend, but I want to go home.
A lot of people ask me where home is, and I answer them pretty quickly. Home is where the Ramones anthology CD that you bought in the year 2000 is. So basically, I'm tired, and I haven't seen my parents in a year, and I miss them. So we're going across the Harbor Bridge, and we're going home. There's a pretty extensive archive of stuff at my parents' house, and included in that archive is some never-before-seen skate footage. I got a lot to go through here, but I'm gonna put all the skate ones over here, and maybe we find something that we have not seen, that the world hasn't seen. Do you remember this? Everybody bought this one, remember?
Aha, told you. My favorite CD. The Ramones.
The Ramones Best Of? So good. Threader line. I used to call Hippie Jumps threaders for some reason. Here you go.
Got to know you before you faded away. I got to know you. Got to love you. Just keep walking down to separate.
Nice little line there.
I can show you. Escape.
So while I'm hanging out eating home-cooked meals, Jakob Robinson is slugging it out up the coast in preparation for the upcoming skate comp.
So leading up to a competition, obviously it's nerve-wracking. Is there anything you do to prepare for that moment? Is there anything or any method that makes it easier for you?
Not at all.
It'll never be easy.
No, it's never easy.
You just have to face that it's going to suck, walk out there and just begin.
Yeah, pretty much. I usually don't go too bad in competitions. Like, I always expect that I'm going to do really horribly. And even if I do well, I still sort of feel in my mind that I didn't do well. But then I'll end up, actually taking first place, or, like in the weeks leading up to it, I'll be like, I need to skate this many times a day and go do this and practice this, and I never do it. I just end up skating. Comps are hard, but they're so sick though too.
Do you ever feel like the performative aspect is hard when you have eyes on you? Does that bug you?
It definitely does.
Same.
It really bugs me. Yeah, I can't stand it, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
So like I've been to these competitions overseas, and I don't feel as much pressure in those competitions as I do at my local comp. Everybody puts you on such a pedestal, And I had that a lot growing up, you know, like where people were like, oh, you're going to be this, you're going to be that. But they don't really have an idea of the whole spectrum of skating.
For Jakob, the next few days would weigh heavy as he prepared for the Ballina Skate Competition, one of the year's largest competitions in both park and bowl. Winning this event would mean taking his career to the next level. Losing it would mean a step backwards and having to wait for next year to compete again.
With a 90.67 and $650, Jakob Robinson.
I knew Jakob was going to win, even when I thought he was going to lose. Truly, the dream of succeeding in skateboarding is alive and well. All you have to do is follow your own path. You do have to wonder, though, whether being Australian somehow makes it easier to succeed. Well, all the evidence suggests that yes, it does. Good luck.